for this session. Muy buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos. Mi nombre es Frida y junto con mi colega Viviana Marzano seremos sus intérpretes para esta tarde. I'll give this message both in English and in Spanish. Daré este mensaje tanto en inglés como en español. In order to provide language access, this meeting will have simultaneous bidirectional interpretation in English and Spanish, and I'll explain how to enable that feature in Spanish. A efecto de proporcionar acceso lingüístico, esta reunión contará con interpretación simultánea bidireccional al inglés y al español. Si usted es bilingüe, no tiene que presionar nada, pero si usted no es bilingüe y está en su computadora, por favor, localice el icono en forma de globo que está en la parte inferior de su pantalla, haga clic en interpretación de idiomas y después seleccione español o Spanish. Si usted está en su iPad o su teléfono, entonces localice el menú de 3 puntos o que dice More en una de las esquinas de su pantalla. Haga clic en interpretación de idiomas y después seleccione español o Spanish y después finalizar, aceptar o done. Y recuerde, si tiene alguna pregunta o comentario, póngalo en la sección de preguntas y respuestas o Q&A que está en la parte inferior de su pantalla. Gracias. Thank you.
Ready to go back, Frida?
Yes.
There she. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elise. I'm in the principal here at Santa Barbara High School. Those of you who came a little bit early, I don't know if you heard us. Did you guys all hear the rain? Did you get rain and thunder and lightning like we did? A little crazy. So we're here. We're so glad for you to be here with us this evening. We're just figuring out screen sharing. We're having some technical difficulties. So hopefully there it goes. Yay. Okay. So I'm just going to say good evening. Thank you for being here. This is for our freshman families and sort of create class of 2025. That's insane. Well, the counselors have created a wonderful presentation for you. We also have our student engagement and our college and career counselor, Miguel Bresenio. So I'm really excited for you all to get to meet them individually on our webinar here and hear from them. They're amazing and they're going to support you through the next 4 years. It's going to go by really fast and we're going to have a lot of fun together. So thank you for being here tonight. Have a great evening and I'm going to stick around because sometimes you put questions in the Q&A that I will answer for you. I'll help out with that. I'll be here. Have a great night.
Thank you, Dr. Simmons. As she mentioned, we're super excited to be here as a counseling staff, and we just thank you for your time. We went ahead and presented this information to your students in their English classes, and those of them who didn't have English, we went ahead and presented in the cafe last week. So it was really fun just seeing everybody's faces and being on campus and getting the chance to connect with our freshman class. All right, so I just want to touch on our agenda for this evening. We want to let you know what our role is as your student's counselor, introduce some important support staff that are available as resources to you and your students, cover some tips for academic success, talk about college and career information, and as I said, just talk about resources that are available to you. And especially now that we're back on campus, we're really excited for what we have available to us. All right, so you can see all of our friendly faces without our masks. This is our counseling team. We barely fit on the row. We're really excited just for having such a robust team. It's really been a joy to be a part of the team, and I'm proud to be one of the counselors at Santa Barbara High. There's a little bit of an alphabetical breakdown. You can see each counselor's name and then the last names that they serve. So for example, Ms. Porter, our head counselor, has last names A through CAR. So if your student falls within that alpha, then she's your counselor and you can kind of go down the list from there. So maybe take a quick screenshot if you don't have this information already. At the bottom of the list, definitely not least, but Mr. Bresenio is our college and career counselor. So he's available to all students. Definitely connect with him. He has some great resources, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like in the rest of the presentation. All right, so as I mentioned, we wanted to cover the role of the school counselor. So the three main areas that we want to emphasize is academic, college and career, and personal social. I feel like at the beginning of the year, we talk a lot about scheduling, but there's so much more that we do as just a service to you and your student. So know that we can help with academic, college and career, as well as personal social. All right, and how do I schedule an appointment with my counselor? You can stop by the counseling office. Here's a photo of Miss Serena Rodena. She's the manager of our office, and she can answer basic questions via email, in person, or on the phone. But really, just a simple way is to send us an email. We're all on our emails all day long, and very communicative that way. We can call you in. So feel free to reach out. All right, and here's a few more friendly faces. This is a few more support staff members that we have here on campus. So Ms. Cabrera is our Dean of Students. She's actually here tonight, and she'll be able to speak on a few slides in a few minutes. We have Ms. Jimenez, our family liaison. She's a great resource for students and families, just with connections to our community. Mr. Mendoza is assistant principal, and then Zeno Costello is our tech in the College and Career Center, so she works alongside Mr. Briseño. I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic off to Ms. Acevedo.
Oh, I'm here, Ariel. I'm doing 7 through 10 right after you. So Dawn's 101, how to be a Dawn, and pardon my dog. She's shaking from the thunder and won't get off my lap. But we did present to your students about Dawn's 101 and just how to be a Dawn and welcome them to Santa Barbara High. And I'll touch on a couple of slides of just expectations and things we hope that our students can achieve and do throughout their high school experience. So next slide. So this is our Santa Barbara Unified School mission statement. We prepare students for a world that is yet to be created. And we just wanted to present this to students and to families so that you know that this is kind of our overarching mission for all of our students across the district, and ways in which we can come up and support students in this mission is what we do every day. And then we have some tips for being successful at Santa Barbara High and beyond. And one of the main ones is that Dawns are professional. And some of the ways that we support students in doing that are coming to school on time, having the resources that they need to be prepared and be ready to ask for help as they need it. We want them to get practice with communicating with their teachers directly, checking their emails often. As a school, we send home a lot of information to our students via their school email, and just being prepared and treating their high school experience like a job, like they would a job, which would be, you know, being on time and advocating for things that they may need in the class, and then also to, of course, their counselor and teachers. Next slide. So we want them to be prepared as part of being a student on campus. One of the main ways students can be successful at Santa Barbara High is to always be organized. So whatever that system looks like at home, with, you know, making sure they know what they need to do the night before, or preparing for an exam, getting really used to maybe having a planner or using their phone or a paper agenda to keep track of all the different, you know, assignments they need to work on, or things that just come up in their life, so that they're not feeling just overwhelmed by the week ahead, and they kind of have a mapped out plan of what to do and when. We also really want to promote study skills for our freshmen. This is a big one as they leave junior high and enter high school, where the expectation might be, you know, a little more rigorous in terms of preparing for an exam, you know, and how do they best learn and how do they best study? Maybe that's not just looking through a notebook, but it's actually, you know, taking time to highlight or to make note cards, and to really prepare for assignments and quizzes and tests is really crucial as they enter high school and the workload increases. And then time management, that's a big one for even adults to start to master, right? And so we just want to focus on supporting our freshmen and learning how to balance their life and have time for fun and friends, but to also have time for their schoolwork and how to make that work for them so they're successful. Next slide. And I think we're moving to another counselor to present.
That would be me, Ms. Porter. Marcy Porter, I'm presenting on how to be present. A couple of, continue on what Ms. Gerbach was talking about, encouraging our students to be responsible by attending all their classes and being on time, and independent. This is a big one, especially for the transition between junior high and high school. Being disciplined about the independent learning time. When students are in junior high or grade school, often they're given a worksheet, they're told turn it in the next day, simple things like that. But as you get older, especially in high school, it'll be more like a project, and a student will have to figure out how to discipline themselves and organize themselves so that they can complete the project at the certain time. So things like that are really important. And of course, posture, just being in the classroom, alert. We've been doing classroom presentations, and you can really tell the students who are engaged versus other students, but it's just really important to be present. And then ask for help. This is really important as you get into high school. You know, as freshmen, they've started to change a little bit. They're, you know, high school students versus junior high or elementary school students. And the high school students is reaching out and asking for help. If you don't understand something, ask your teacher, schedule a meeting with them, email them. They can do that through NEO, or just stop, you know, stay after class a little bit, talk to teachers, and don't be shy. I always tell students too that if you're kind of hesitant to reach out in person, email a teacher. Email is a great way to get a conversation going, but it's really important that students reach out and ask for some help. And then make your GPA count. This is a really important information to give students. Ninth grade matters. The grades that they're due in ninth grade really are going to affect the rest of their time in high school, hopefully in a real positive way. We really encourage students to do well in their classes. C's or better is what you need to do in order to apply to universities after high school. A lot of kids aren't really thinking that, but that's really important. And to also to be on a sports team. You have to have a 2.0 GPA in order to participate for sports. So that would be C's or higher. To get a work permit, you need 2.0 or higher. So we encourage students to do really well, but definitely we want them to get C's or higher. And then we also want to encourage students to continue to do well in honors, AP, city college classes. All those are weighted. So a student, you know, some of our top seniors right now have 4.8, 4.9 GPAs. And that's because they took a lot of honors and AP courses, which there's not as many offered when they're ninth. It kind of expands as they get older. But right now, we just really want to encourage our freshmen to do well in their classes and to get C's or higher and to really reach out for help.
Good evening. I'm Martha Acevedo, and I'm working with the students in the PEAK and AVID program this year. So as Ms. Porter talked about the grades, we want to remind you that the first term ends on October 15th, and those grades are going to go on the transcript. So those grades are permanent. So the students have really about a week and a half to get things together, and hopefully they have been talking to their teachers, checking NEO, and making sure that they're turning in whatever work you know, they have to have in by the end of the term. One reminder we want to have, we're going to talk a little bit about graduation requirements in a minute, is that the students do need 222 credits to graduate, and each class counts for 5 credits. So for term 1, they're enrolled in either 3 or 4 classes, hopefully 4 classes. So they would get at least 20 credits. And then term 2, another 20 credits. By the end of the year, they could have up to 80 credits. So you have the dates here of when the terms end. So if you can just help your kids to stay engaged and check NEO and just support them that way. So yeah, these are the dates when each of the terms or how long the terms last, okay? Speaking of grades, we are very excited. Our tutoring programs open in person today. And we have CalSub tutors. They will be available in the College and Career Center. We also have what's called the Tutor Club, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3:20 to 4:15 in the library. Then we have a group of students who are being trained to be academic mentors so they can help in classrooms during terms 3 and 4. If your son or daughter is like super doing really well in a specific area and wants to help, they could probably talk to Mr. Johnston. So normally we take 10th, 11th, and 12th, but if we have a 9th grade that is like just willing to help, please have them reach out to us. There's also tutoring through the PAL program, the Santa Barbara Police Activities League, and they have tutoring from 3 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. And then today was the first day for in-person tutoring through the PEAK program here at school in rooms 205, 207, 208, and it's from 4 to 7. They also have a digital version of tutoring. So if your son or daughter is struggling, just please make sure they reach out to us and we can share this information with them or walk them to the tutoring center. So we want to support you and them. Okay, thank you. And I think it's Mr. Sofer after this.
Thank you, Martha. This is the A through G chart, and we talk about this often. We talked about it in 8th grade, we talked about 9th, 10th, 11th. We met with juniors today and reviewed the A through G chart, and it's a pretty big push. It has been really for all of my time but from the district office, our administrative council, we want as many as possible to be college eligible. So that means when they get to be seniors, which is a long ways away, but it comes up kind of quickly, is that they've taken all the right classes. And so this chart here outlines what that means, the A through G chart. So hopefully all of your students, word that everyone knows what it means to be A. Social science is the A category. Is required. Well, guess what? You guys, everyone does that for graduation. World history is a sophomore and US history is a junior. English, 4 years required. Students are already doing that in order to graduate. They take English 9, 10, 11, and 12. Sometimes it'll be, whether it's honors or AP or City College dual enrollment English, at the end of the day, it's 4 years of English, 4 years of math required, 4 years recommended. If you did math 1, math 2, math 3, now you're eligible. But the difference between being eligible and being competitive is, do you take a 4th or 5th year of math? Do you go above and beyond the minimum? So depending on where you're trying to get in, going to dictate, how many math, will you take math as a senior? And that's going to be our recommendation for all of our students. Yes, you should take math as a senior. We want you to go above and beyond the minimum, but at least 3 years of math. Lab science is 2 years required, 3 years recommended. Our have to do, our science sequence at Santa Barbara High is physics, chem, biology. So students do those 3. You've got the 3 that's recommended, and maybe you take 4th year in your senior year. Language other than English, 2 years required. 3 to 4 recommended, again, above and beyond the minimum requirements. Visual and performing arts year required. We have a ton of classes here of that. All of our music classes, our vocal classes, our theater classes, and quite a few different art courses that we offer. And then a college prep elective, that would be like a 3rd and 4th year of science, a 4th or 5th year, a 3rd or 4th year of foreign language. And we have some other college prep electives like kinesiology and sports medicine, and a few others that we offer. Just kind of depends on the student and what their interests are. But that's what the A through Gs are. And we want all students to get those done, moving into their senior year. And then this is a pretty dense slide, but it really outlines kind of a lot of what I just mentioned there. But you can see the subject area on the left side, social studies. And then the column right next to that, it says, 10th grade world history, 11th grade US history, 12th grade. All of our kids do Gov and Econ in order to graduate. And then on the right-hand side, it says what the UC, CSU or Cal State system requirement is. And then the English, and then the math, science, language, and then English. And you'll notice, like with the grad requirements, like we require, 1 semester of ethnic studies, and we require 2 years of physical education or PE or sport, and we require health, but those aren't classes that are, part of the A through G college eligibility. So by and large, most, if not all of our students are going to, get there as far as being A through G eligible. And so we're just appreciate. And if you have questions about this, or if you ever want to meet and like map out like a 4-year plan and say, okay, I'm going to get my A through Gs done, and how am I going to foreign language? Those types of, individual questions, please feel free to email us. We can set up an appointment and we can sit down with you and create a 4-year plan so that, we're all on the same page and supporting you, your family, and your students. And I'm now done with my slide. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Briceño.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miguel Briceño. I am the College and Career Counselor. And at the College and Career Center, you could find me, and you could also find Ms. Costello. We're both there to help students out with anything that has to do with colleges, anything that has to do with careers. One of the things that's going on in the College and Career Center every day during lunch and after school, if we have colleges that have signed up, we do have college visitors, college representatives to talk to our students about the different colleges that are possibilities for our students. Students could sign up through SCOIR, SCOIR.com. All students already have an account, so they just have to link their account through Google, through SCOIR.com, and then they can see the calendar of what schools have signed up to visit or speak to our students. Next slide. With community service, students, freshmen, will have to do 60 hours of community service. That means that they will have to do 60 hours starting from now all the way until the end senior year. That's the minimum requirement. If students have trouble finding places to do community service, they could go ahead and scan a QR code that's going to direct them straight to a list that we have for them. They just need to call those places, see if there's any restrictions, if they're taking in volunteers, and they could set up appointments and when they could start their community service hours. A lot of students have been coming to the College and Career Center for work permits. So students can start working as soon as they are 14 years of age. If they're 14 or 15, they could work a maximum of 18 hours a week. If the students are 16 or 17, they could work a maximum of 28. Once the student has a job, they found a job, they just have to get the work permit application signed by parent guardian, their employer, and they bring it over to me, and in exchange, I will give them a work permit that they take back to their employer. Students do have to maintain a 2.0 GPA and above. That means C average and above. So students also want to find a job, they could scan this QR code and they could see a list of different possibilities that students could work at within the community. So if any students have questions about community service, work permits, college, feel free to stop by the College and Career Center. Me and Ms. Costello will be there to help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Briceño. Good evening, I'm Mr. Beach. Just wanted to go over a couple of slides to get your students more involved on this. So we know from our experience with our students and the feedback that we get that find a reason to buy in, if they can find a reason to connect to campus, they're gonna do better in their classes, they're gonna make better friend connections and just have a better overall experience. So some ways that we'd like to offer to have your student get involved are just simply attending some of our sport events. If they hang out after school, stick around for some of our home games, but just being a regular at that sport event allows them to connect with some of their other classmates. They can start or join a club. So we have a great list of clubs on our website that you can check out. We list all our clubs on there. If there's a new club that we're not offering, we invite students to come out and do Club Rush, which is where they get to create a club. And if they have a group of friends that they want to start that club with, we can get that off the ground right away. Joining the journalism group, our class. If we'd like our students to have their voices heard on campus, and so joining the journalism class is a good way to be a part of the Forge and get your voice heard. We get great feedback from the Forge, and we have a journalist that's running that class right now. So really great experience from our students' feedback. Joining one of our academies, we have the MAD Academy, the VADA Academy, Computer Science Academy. We have our CTE pathways like sports medicine. We also have Peak, Avid, culinary arts, construction tech. We have all these different ways that we're trying to draw interest from our students and get them involved on campus. So the academies are a great way to kind of show the size of our business and connect it to some friends. All of our CTE pathways are a really great way to do that too. They'll see familiar faces in their classes. Taking dual enrollment, a little bit of thunder reaching us now. Dual enrollment classes, another really great way to get involved. That's a shared experience that a lot of our students are taking advantage of. Those are weighted classes that they can take through the Santa Barbara City College. Any class that they take over there that's 3 units and UC CSU transferable is likely able to go on their Santa Barbara High transcript. So we're encouraging our students to explore some of their interests over there and then run any classes that they might be interested by their counselor. And we can see if they'll be approved and help them enroll in that. And then participating in some of the internship and community service opportunities that Mr. Briseño just shared with us. Anything that doesn't pay them is considered community service. We have a great list of nonprofits in our town that have already said that they love high school students to come and volunteer with them. So we want to connect them to those resources. All right, so we're throwing a lot of information at you guys. When we do this with our freshmen, we can see them kind of sitting back in their chairs and getting a little overwhelmed at times. So we like to slow it down with this slide, take a collective deep breath with everybody and go over some self-care and why we feel that's an important part of this equation. Next slide, please. So here are some self-care ideas. You can talk about these with your student. Really, these are just a conversation starter. We invite you guys to check in with your student and see what are some ways that they care for themselves. Do they have a self-care regimen? These are some of the counseling staff's favorites that we put on there, keeping a consistent sleep schedule, pursuing goals. We like to give them some ideas and then try to pull out some conversation from the students so that they can share with one another. But we know this is a huge factor with how they perform overall and how they're feeling about their studies, and making sure that they have a balanced life and it's not all academics is helping them create a self-care menu for themselves. Okay, I'm gonna pass this over to our Dean of Students, Ms. Josefina Cabrera, and she'll take it from here. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to discuss some supports and services that are at our school. We have these 3 counselors on our campus, two of them, actually there are 4. I'm covering one of them with my, anyway, with the camera. So there are 2 full-time therapists at our campus from a family service agency that you students can go to if they're having difficulty with any issue at school or outside of school with friends. They can help as a sounding board for you if you're having difficulty in any social emotional area of your life. And it's okay to reach out. We've all gone through a lot over the last year and a half. So Just like when we go to the doctor when we're feeling sick, it's okay to go in visit a therapist when you're needing some support in other areas. And so we have two full-time therapists and two part-time therapists on our campus. Jessica Zacarias can be found in the Wellness Center, which is located in the main hallway over to room 104. I'm still having difficulty with the room numbers, but it's in the main hall. And then Mr. Michael Tong is also there full-time, who can also, you can set you up an appointment with, and you can do so by emailing your academic counselor, or you can also email me directly. If you come to our student engagement office, we're very happy to connect you there to any of the services and resources on our campus. And a big part of my job is your social emotional well-being and feeling safe at school, but the other is also academics. So we'd like to encourage you to be in class on time and every day, because that's an important part of your progress and your grades. So academics, but also social emotional. There are other support as well on our campus. We have the youth outreach workers who can also help you in crisis situations, and it can have additional support and resources such as mentorship or advocacy. We also have group therapy at our school, where you can join a group if you are in need of some emotional social support. And I was already talking about attendance. It's a big part of what we do at school. In order to learn and to keep up your grades and meet all the requirements for graduation and beyond, you need to be in class and show up on time. So it's important that we are professional students by being where we need to be and on time. So I appreciate you. Come by and look for me in the student engagement office anytime you have a question, or I can help you with anything, or just to let me know how well you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cabrera. I am Miss Esther Boutros. I am one of the new school counselors here at Santa Barbara, serving families starting with HE through L. We have gone over a lot, and I do just want to let you know that if you've missed anything during this presentation, it is recorded in English and in Spanish and will be posted on our website. Speaking of websites, as you see on the webinar, if you need any more information or if you want any more resources, we have a pretty user-friendly website, our school's website, to help you get connected as family or as parents. So for example, you can learn more about our meal services, registration, enrollment, health and wellness. Technology support is a huge one, since all of our students have iPads or devices. So this is a great one-stop shop for you all to get more information on some of our resources. So we all actually want to thank you for your time attending this webinar. It's a long one and there is a lot of information. Like I said, it will be posted on our website, but thank you all so much. We are here for you, us as counselors and school staff. Please don't hesitate to contact us or have your child contact us directly. We do want to promote independence and for our children or our students to advocate for themselves. And if they need advocating for, we are here for them. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a good night. Take care.